Hello everyone, my name is Leonardo, and today I'm here to talk to you about my next topic in my video series. This week we'll be talking about coping with quarantine. This is a video series about spiritual life advice from a trained practitioner such as myself, where we will discuss different topics about spiritual health and wellness as well as mental and physical, and we'll bridge the gaps together. So COVID-19, it started back in December 2019, in the Eastern world and traveled all across the world. It has really put a damper on our life. By March 2020, here in Chicago, the entire city was on lockdown as well as other major cities in the USA. So it was quite an interesting experience being quarantined because either you were sick, or maybe, there was a case at work. So, we can all definitely relate to those issues that we've all had. But the thing that happened to us was that not only was our financial and career and all of our love worlds sort of put on a halt, but no one ever talks about the spiritual effects of quarantine. And today I want to talk to you about it because I think that, it's something that we need to discuss. Parts of the world are still in quarantine. For instance, all my friends in Australia, still in different lockdowns. We're not all open all the time, and there's different countries that are going up and down in numbers. But mental health is such a big deal, and spiritual health is something that needs to be faced because we don't pay attention to it enough, in my opinion, and it's time for us to face that there's those spiritual aspects to what we do. And quarantine was quite an individual circumstance that led to larger circumstances for us. So let's talk about the spiritual effects. The first spiritual effect that I noticed during quarantine between me and others was just having a lot of people around. So a lot of crowded energy, a lot of people around you so that you can't really emotionally express and release yourself. So there was a lot of energy. Spiritually, that can be an issue because we're very empathic humans and we tend to connect with other people in a very spiritual way through our emotions. We use our empathy to express, through our auras and our feelings. So when you have 10 people sitting in an apartment and it's all quarantine and you're, all stressed out, and those emotions just rub off on you. And that is one of those spiritual effects that no one really focuses on, but it just causes a lot of anxiety along the way. That spiritual aspect of it is big. The second one I want to talk about was, in quarantine, there's not a lot of space, and people who are usually out are now in, so there's not a lot of space to meditate and contemplate your life. Me personally, I've always, done a meditation cycle before and after work, and when I got quarantined, it was really hard for me. But keeping up with meditation and finding new ways to meditate did help, but still, it was putting a damper on me being able to free my mind, take a walk. Quarantine had us thinking at home. And third was not being able to go to your sanctuary. People weren't able to go to churches and, temples, and that was really tough, really, really tough. So there are 3 ways, just based on those negative effects, to make a positive effect out of it, a positive reaction to all this mess and chaos and quarantine. The first one is then being able to get some space around others and make some space, make some boundaries so that you can feel at home in your own home. If you're living with multiple people in quarantine, just express that you need a little space, you need a little time, to release your emotions, to talk it out, to just do your own thing, Number 2 is just to make alone time to meditate, make alone time to express those emotions and to be with yourself in your Zen mode. I know that it's really hard, but you're going to have to make time. If it used to be you walking to work and back, now it's time for you to walk because you want to walk. So it's time to get active and make your own space to meditate and contemplate. And number 3, simple, just make your own sanctuary. We've all been taken away from our regular sanctuaries, things that we've been very comfortable with, but it's time to make your own. Like me and Luna at home, we made our own sanctuary. We, got the incense, got the music, got the candles, and, we made a sanctuary at home instead of being able to go to temples that we enjoy. So it's one of the things that is great about quarantine, is getting innovative about making your own space to be able to be spiritual. So those and many more are some issues that have needed to be faced during quarantine. Coping with quarantine was difficult, but there are fixes. There are ways to fix things in quarantine, and we'd love to help you out with that if you like. So definitely, we look forward to hearing your advice, your stories over quarantine. How did you cope with quarantine? What did you do to solve your issues during quarantine? Definitely look out for our Facebook Live every Friday around 6 p.m. CST, which is Central Standard Time. We'll leave a link to, a conversion for different countries around the world. We look forward to hearing your story and for you to share with others. And if you have any questions on how to cope with the negative effects of quarantine, we can give you that spiritual advice. We'd love to. So just feel free to stop by on our Facebook Live, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.